The Kinisi Max offers interchangeable forward D hardware in the form of a rope bridge adjuster, a knot blocker, and a bone. These components are fastened to the forward D hardware with 2 stainless steel bolts and nylock nuts. The adjuster and knot blocker are for use with knotted rope bridges. The bone is for use with sewn eye rope bridges or a sewn webbing bridge. The instructions for installing the M5 bolts and nylock nuts are the same for each piece of hardware. Let's take a look at a few examples. The Kinisi Max comes standard with an adjuster on one side and a bone on the other, with 2 rope bridges. Let's change this configuration and install a webbing bridge. First, we need to remove the bridges, untie the stopper knots, and pull the bridges through the adjuster. Next, remove any hardware from the bridges. Using a 3mm Allen key, remove the bolts from the hardware. Do not reuse the nylock nuts. These are single use only. Once removed, they must be discarded. Remove the bone and remove the bridges from the forward D hardware. The new bridge is provided with spare bolts and replacement nylock nuts. Replacing the original bolts is optional. However, the nylock nuts must be replaced. Push the webbing eye through the forward D hardware and install the bone. The bone, blocker, and adjuster will locate onto the forward D like shown here. The bolts locate into the countersunk portion of the hardware, and the hardware must sit flush against the surface of the forward D. Note that the webbing bridge must be installed with the cut end facing outward from the user. This avoids interference with components installed on the bridge. Turn the forward Ds over and place the nylock nuts, holding them in position with your fingers while you install and tighten the bolts. Place the bolts and tighten by alternating between the two so the bone sits evenly on the hardware. Do not over-tighten. The torque spec is 5 Nm or about 3.7 foot-pounds. When installed correctly, the bone will sit flush against the forward D hardware. The bolts will protrude ever so slightly from the ends of the nylock nuts. Next, we'll remove the adjuster. Remember to discard the old nylock nuts and replace them with a fresh set that has been provided. Be sure to place any desired hardware on the bridge prior to finishing installation. To complete the installation, we'll install the bone, bolts, and nylock nuts in the same manner as we did on the other side. Sewn eye rope bridges are installed in the same manner. Push the eyes through the forward D hardware and install the bone, making sure it sits flush with the forward D hardware. The sewn tails must be placed facing outward from the user. This avoids interference with components placed on the bridge. A knot blocker will install flush against the forward D hardware as shown here. Keep in mind that the sewn ends with shrink tubing will not pass through the knot blocker. Tie your stopper knots on the end of the bridge with the shrink tubing first. then pass the plain ends through the knot blocker. Note that the stopper knots require a setting force of 2 kN prior to usage.